Hello there, I'm Vigalius. It's Saturday night. I have a cough. I was literally just about to say I have a cough, and then my brain said, "Oh, you have a cough, do you? Let them know." I'm sat here with a monster on a Saturday night staring Audacity because, dude, I'm kind of lit, okay? And I just finished watching the Little Mermaid movie. The word cough is in my head and I can't stop doing it. I just finished watching the Little Mermaid movie, and despite the fact that it sounds as though I'm allergic to it, yeah, I know this is going to be a controversial one. I know I'm kind of late to it. I'm kind of late to the scene. We didn't really care too much about catching up on this one, but we thought we'd give it a watch, tonight, see what it's like. It's bad, man. Like, it's not a good movie at all. Holy crap, it is not a good film. I didn't like this film at all. Everything about... It's like every piece of this film, every like filmmaking piece that went into this, is just something I didn't like about the movie, which is very bad. Awful performances. The performances were not great. I don't really blame Hale Bailey too much for it. It feels as though she wasn't directed particularly well. She wasn't given material that I think worked for her particularly well. Javier Bardem pops up, which was really weird. He gave an okay performance. Like, it was kind of hit and miss with him, but I can never sort of judge Bardem poorly because... Dude, he played Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men. One of my favorite films of all time, and my favorite book of all time. I cannot criticize that guy. It's one of the greatest performances of all time. So it's fine, Javier. It was okay. You were okay. But everyone else in the film was awful. The CGI was terrible. The CGI design was also really bad and felt very awkward. It didn't really feel as though the CGI worked. It felt very forced, as if like making these animals look kind of a little bit photorealistic, but also not at the same time, was just not a good mix. The music was bad. The implementation of the music was bad. I didn't care for any of the characters at all. The story was not good. The cinematography was bad. Shot composition was far too claustrophobic. The editing was poor. The dubbing was bad. Everything was awful. Everything was bad, and I did not like it at all. But also, I don't care. I really don't care. It doesn't annoy me. It doesn't affect me in any way. Because honestly, the original wasn't very good either. The original was not a good movie either. I didn't like that at all. Growing up, I grew up in a house full of women, and this was in the 90s, so this was when princesses... That's not boy shit, okay? No, boys aren't allowed to like that. And of course that's changed now, and I'm not a lot more open to that sort of thing. But I have a daughter now, so history has repeated itself, and I'm in a house full of women, and I've seen it again, and it sucks. It's not a good movie. The original is not good, and to be quite frank with you, all of the issues that I have with the reboot are present in the original as well. I remember watching it and thinking, man, Ariel... For a film so focused on one character, essentially, I feel as though there's no depth to this character. I don't care about her. I don't care about what's happening. She's having no effect on me whatsoever. And then I thought about the original, and it's exactly the same way. Ariel in the original just has nothing. There's just no depth to the character whatsoever. The story is paper thin in the original, and by the way, exactly the same as it is here. The music, let's be real, is really bad in the original, and though I would say that I think the singing from Hale is just a little bit worse here. I don't want to keep making excuses for her, but I really don't think that this was her style, and I wouldn't judge Chloe X Hale or Chloe and Hale music by this. I don't listen to the music, but I wouldn't really judge it in the same way. But it wasn't good in the original either, man. The music wasn't good there either. Essentially, what we have is two films that are bad. Two bad Little Mermaid films. Originally, there was Little Mermaid, which was bad, and now there's two Little Mermaids, and they're both bad. They're two films with one good song, and we both know what that song. We all know what that song is. Let's be honest. There is only one good song between the two. Bad performances, because Ariel's voice performance was awful in the original, absolutely terrible. Paper thin characters that you don't care about, and a weak-ass storyline. And I guess what I'm trying to say here is, just because you don't like the reboot of something, just because you don't like a remake of something, doesn't mean, and I really mean this, doesn't mean you have to like the original. It doesn't mean that the original has to be good by proxy. It can just mean that it never was. And this is obviously something that comes up constantly and something I've talked about a lot. But here is like a real anecdotal piece of evidence regarding it. It's true. You don't have to like an original if a reboot is bad. Yeah, and just because it's old, just because you grew up with it, just because it was made in the 90s, just because it's 2D animated and not live action, also doesn't mean it's good. It's not, and it never was. Maybe by the standard of the day, but I think given that we know a lot better now, we can go into it knowing how poor that film is. And it really is. Anyway, I just thought I'd have a chat about that, my immediate thoughts on the film. I guess that will be my review of the Little Mermaid reboot. I don't like Melissa McCarthy. I just don't find her entertaining. And I guess I'll see everyone later.